When I get super passionate about something, I have a tendency of just acting, just doing, and not really thinking about how things are going to work out. It's just, I want to do this. I want to do this, and I'll worry about all the details as it goes. A few days ago, I said in a video that I wanted to give away 10,000 booster packs of Phantasmal Flames. 10,000. That's a lot. That's a lot of booster packs, but I want to do it differently. I want to give all of these packs to kids. Well, how do you regulate something like that? And that's what I've really been thinking about over the past several days is how can I make sure that these 10,000 booster packs get in the right hands, get open, give Pokemon cards back to kids? How can I make sure to do something like that? Kids really, especially right now, are going to struggle, right? Because a lot of stuff gets bought out and then sold on the secondary market, but also just a restock line in general. It's difficult for a kid to be able to wait in a restock line. Like they have school. They have school. They can't go opening day, opening release of Phantasmal Flames and wait in line for 3, 4, 5 hours because they'll be at school. So it's difficult for them. By the time they get out of school, they probably don't necessarily have the pocket change to be able to go out and buy, a handful of packs because they're probably already gone. And I know that's probably just me making assumptions, and I don't have all the information. That's just what I'm seeing. What I'm seeing is happening. I see a lot of comments of parents who are struggling to find cards for their kids and kids who are struggling to find cards at all. And I talked about this the other day in a video with the mom who decided to buy out an Ace Hardware at $7.50 a booster pack because she couldn't find them anywhere else. So it's a struggle right now. And I thought, okay, well, I want to do something. I want to give away 10,000 booster packs of Phantasmal Flames. The problem is I only get so many. So I'm like, okay, well, I can give away 1,000. I can do 1,000. And maybe there's some brands, maybe there's some stores, some large online stores that can help me. And I just decided to start doing it. I reached out to Drip and Collector, which are both fantastic apps, and they're willing to donate to the cause. So they're committed. I talked to to Troll and Toad, which is a very large online store, and they're doing 1,000 packs. I talked to Rip and Ship Gaming out of New York, a fantastic store there. They're doing 1,000 packs, and all of a sudden, I'm basically at like 6,000 of that 10,000 pack goal and slowly starting to climb. And I want to do things differently. So I wanted to give you a little bit of detail because I've gotten a ton of emails from a lot of places that want to host these giveaways. And I do want to do something with LGSs. I don't have an actual brick and mortar LGS. So making sure that these get in the hands of the kids is going to be impossible for me to do. So I'm going to go to an LGS on a specific day. And I want to do this on Black Friday, which is the day after Thanksgiving, which is like, I don't even know what day that is. That's November 28th? November 28th, I think, is the day after Thanksgiving. Yeah, so on November 28th, which is 2 weeks after the release of Phantasmal Flames, 2 weeks after, I'm going to go to an LGS, and that's the day that I want this giveaway to happen. And I want to partner up with LGSs in specific, preferably ones that host leagues. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a sanctioned league by Pokemon. That would be ideal, but it doesn't have to be. If you're hosting leagues, if you're hosting play events, and the main goal behind it is to have the opportunity for these kids to be able to go to a place, and then maybe these LGSs can record some content of them opening packs, of them giving out packs, and then I can shout out that LGS in a video. We can put together a montage, and we can see that positivity that's being spread throughout the community. And I'm hopeful that it will encourage kind of a youth movement at that LGS, where that LGS is getting more people in who can understand the ongoings of what it's like right now running an LGS, but also finding this outlet, finding this community where they can maybe start playing the game, maybe start enjoying the hobby in different ways, maybe start attending a trade night or something that local LGS has. So I want to be able to get these 10,000 packs, box them up, and send them out to various stores, various brick and mortar stores around the country. So if that's you, then you should definitely reach out. And I set up a new email, or my friend Matt, huge shout out to Matt, who's going to help me get back to all these emails because I've gotten a ton of them and I haven't gotten back to a lot of them yet. The dannyphantump@gmail.com. That's it. I'm going to put it in the description below. But if you're somebody who wants to help through either a pack donation or a monetary donation or hosting these events, I'm like 6,000 of the 10,000 packs there. So I got more work to do. But then once I can get all these packs committed, then by having this event 2 weeks after the release day, that gives me time to get everything boxed up and sent out and record some content, put it together in like a montage and release that. And hopefully it spreads like some positivity, some good vibes throughout the community as we band together really to try and do something more. So that's my insight behind everything. And even if you just want to talk about it, you can email the dannyphantump at gmail.com. So that way we can kind of, like I said, it's all very early on right now, but this is something that I really want to do, something that I think is important to do, and that's to get more of the youth involved in collecting and playing the game and growing the hobby rather than just focusing on the financial side of things, because I do think things are going to change, especially next year. We'll talk about that in a future video, but I think things are going to change, and I think the youth is very, very important right now as far as not being able to find these cards. So I don't know, maybe I'm overthinking things, maybe it is super cliche, but this is where my head is at right now, and this is what I really want to do. So with all that being said, we have a Mega Evolution master set that we're going to give away literally right now. So this is a master set of Mega Evolution. Huge shout out to the Unlucky Collector for doing the etch work on this. We give away a master set every single set release. One lucky subscriber gets to win an entire master set loaded with every single common, uncommon, reverse holo, double rare, full art, ultra rare, illustration rare, special illustration rare, and even in this set they have those mega hyper rares. It's got everything that you can pull from a booster pack. Everything in here. This is important to me. I like giving away master sets. I like giving one away. I think it's a daunting task, and I think it's a cool thing that's a little bit unique. So we give one away every single set release. There was 12,000 comments on the video that you needed to like and comment on. So there was a lot of comments. So I had to use the random comment picker that I paid for to weed out botted accounts and things like that to make sure that it's going to a legitimate person. And the winner is Casty Jordy 10. So Casty Jordy 10 right up here. Congratulations, you are the winner of a Mega Evolution master set. All I need you to do is just email me dannyphantumpcontent@gmail.com. I will have you do some steps and get you verified by my YouTube rep, so that way we can make sure you are who you say you are, and then I will get this shipped out to you. So congratulations to Casty Jordy 10. And if you didn't win, I am sorry. I do wish there was tons of people who could win. I can only put together so many master sets, unfortunately. But there will be another one. Phantasmal Flames is only a few weeks away. So if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button down below. That's really the only requirement to win a master set. And we do a lot of other giveaways too. And as we continue to grow, it's crazy to think that we're approaching that 200,000 subscriber mark. We're going to keep doing bigger and bigger giveaways, like this 10,000 pack giveaway that we're doing for kids. And it's just going to keep growing. And we're going to give more away and more away and more away until everybody wins something, I guess. I don't know. Like that's the goal, is to give back as much as we possibly can. So hit that subscribe button down below, and good luck with Phantasmal Flames. We'll put together that master set in a couple weeks as soon as the set drops. It's crazy to think that we already have another set release. They're just coming so fast. But congratulations to Cassie Jordy. We're going to go talk about Mega Evolutions. Prices are starting to dip, which is really exciting because I think they're going to dip more. So I don't think you should necessarily buy the singles yet, but they're already, the fall of Mega Evolutions is already starting when it comes to singles, which is fantastic for people who want to collect the artwork and collect the cards. It's really starting to move down. And with more packs coming out, the second wave, seal product probably still going to be a little tough. I do think that's going to get better next year as well. Seal product's still a little bit expensive. Focus on singles. Focus on singles. More product is coming. More product is going to be opened. Those singles will probably continue to go down. So let's go talk about some Mega Evolution. We do this every single set release. We look at the prices opening day and then compare them to where they are a week later, so that way we can get an understanding of how prices fluctuate with the release of a set. And a lot of times it gives us indicators on how much a set is being opened, gives us indicators on what pull rates and demand looks like, and then gives us an idea of when we should start looking at buying the singles that we want, whether it be something that you're looking to master set, or maybe you're building decks, or maybe you just really like the artwork on a card and you want it for your collection. Now, the great thing about Mega Evolution is that pull rates are far improved from where they were with the entirety of Scarlet and Violet. So illustration rares, for example, you get an entire extra illustration rare per booster box pack sample size. So illustration rares, which used to be like 1 out of every 12 packs to open, are closer to 1 out of every 8 right now, which is amazing. That means a booster box is going to give you at least 4 illustration rares, and that's why those pump and dumps of Marshadow and Gumshoes, and we saw these giant increases of those illustration rares as far as price points go. We knew it was a fallacy. We knew it wasn't going to hold because pull rates were so goated for this set. So looking at where prices are holding, what prices are increasing, what prices are decreasing, gives us a better understanding. And the fact that there's more Mega Evolution coming in the forms of booster boxes, sleeve boosters, ETBs, we're talking an entire second wave of every product that released originally. That just means more product is going to hit the secondary market, more product is going to be opened, and these singles should probably come down a little bit more. We saw this with Journey Together. We haven't seen this a whole lot with Destined Rivals because Destined Rivals just has so much popularity behind it. And while I do think Mega Evolution is a very strong set that people really enjoy, the fact that pull rates are better, coupled with the fact that there is more product than what we had for Destined Rivals, it's just waved out a little bit more, increasing that longevity of a set release, hopefully will give us better indicators of prices kind of dipping and giving us a better understanding of when we should start buying those pieces to our collection that we want when it makes the most sense for our collection budget, because that's what's important, is sticking to your budget, making sure you don't overspend, because that's when people get frustrated, and that's when they start exiting the hobby. Now, I don't want you to exit the hobby. I want you to stick around and enjoy the hobby because it is so great. So we're looking at prices now 3 weeks after release and kind of getting an understanding of where they are. So starting out with the Mega Lucario EX. The problem with TCG Player is that the market price doesn't really update until there's sales, and we take screenshots of TCG Player on opening day in the morning. So if there's not any sales yet where a market price can be established, then we can't really do a good analogy or an analysis of a couple specific cards. So like the Mega Gardevoir, Mega Hyper Rare, not on here because there wasn't any sales yet, or not enough sales to establish a market price. But there was for the Mega Lucario, and that started out at $586.61 on opening day. It did drop about 4%, but I think when people understood how difficult these gold cards were to pull, remember pull rates on these gold cards like 1 out of 1,200 packs, then it became a little bit more in demand because it's like hitting that jackpot when you do pull one out of your booster box or your booster pack, whatever the case may be. So it did drop about 4%. Now it's actually gained about 8% over the last few weeks. So it's sitting at 605.81 currently. The Mega Gardevoir and Mega Lucario also are climbing. The rest of the set not really moving in the upward direction, but rather coming down quite a bit, which is great, with the exception of a couple, which we'll talk about in a minute here. But the special illustration rare Mega Gardevoir started out at $530. It got hit really hard opening weekend, dropped about 43.5%. Now it's gained a little bit back, about 3%. So it's sitting at 309.42 currently. And the Mega Lucario also went up about 10%. So that one started out at 394, dropped down about 29%. Now it's gone up about 10 more percent. So now it's sitting at 306.75, still well below where it was on opening day, but down down considerably from where it was opening day, I should say. The Mega Latias EX special illustration has dropped and then dropped again. Very cool looking card. Went from about $340, dropped about 40%. Now it's dropped an additional 21% on top of that. So it's sitting at $162.55. The Mega Venusaur has held really well since opening day. So you can see it at $218 on opening day, went up about 3 percentage points that first week. Now it's dropped about 6 percentage points from that. So it's sitting at $210 right now. That's only a couple percentage points down below where it was on opening day. So Mega Venusaur doing really well. The Lily's Determination is losing a little bit, but also relatively flat, not doing too bad at all. So started out about $216. This card is also extremely playable. Probably the most playable full art that has a special illustration rare since the release of Iono in Paldea Evolve. So started out at $215.65, dropped about 19%. Now it's up or down an additional 10%. So it's sitting at $157.71. It'll probably continue to drop a little bit more despite the fact that it is super playable. The Mega Kangaskhan dropped like a rock opening week. Now it's held on pretty well over the past couple weeks. So it started out at $185. Mega Kangaskhan also proving to be a little playable. Did well at the most recent regional championships in Milwaukee. Dropped about 45% opening week down to $101. Now it's lost about 6% more, so it's below $100 at $94.77. So not bad on that one. Acerola's Mischief started out at $86 and dropped about 30% opening week. So not a terrible drop, but not great either. So it was down to $60.13. Now it's dipped below $50. So it's down another 23% on top of that, currently sitting at $46.42. Not bad on that one. Lieutenant Surge's Bargain started out at $75. This one very close to $30
$39. You can see it dropped 51% opening week. Now it's lost an additional 15% on top of that, down to $31.06. Definitely a special illustration rare that's not loved as much. Probably it'll hit mid-20s within the next, several weeks as more product comes out and more product releases, which is pretty cool for that one. The Ivysaur, our first illustration rare, has dropped about 15.5% over the past few weeks. So it did lose about 36% opening week, down to $36.38. Now it's down to $30.71. Wouldn't surprise me if this one dropped an additional 20% or 30% over the next few weeks and could be a $20 illustration rare in the near future, just with how frequently these illustration rares are getting pulled. So Mega Evolution, not a huge set by any means, and with the ability to pull illustration rares more frequently, that means that more and more of these specific copies are going to be opened up, hitting the secondary market as people sell off their duplicates and triplicates. The Bulbasaur, this is the unstamped variant, $43.99 is where it started, dropped about 34% opening week. Now it's lost an additional 11% on top of that, so it's currently sitting at $25.78. Lily's Determination, pretty high for a full art, but again, we got to remember, this is a very playable card, so this is why it gives you a little bit of a reminiscence of that Iono from Paldea Evolved. The difference is the demand in Pokemon right now is just so much more intense than what it was when Paldea Evolved originally released. So this started out at $39.27. It stayed relatively flat, only losing a few percentage points opening week, down to $38.29. Now it's dropped about 13 more percentage points, down to $33.29. Still wouldn't surprise me if this hit below $20 in the future. We saw that happen with that full art Iono as more and more copies came out. The great thing about Lily's Determination is while it is a very playable card, there is access to tons of copies of it because it was printed in every single build and battle kit. It's been printed obviously as an uncommon in the set as well. So there's additional variants for competitive players to get copies of if they choose not to play, the full art and just want to play min rarity for everything. Here's the Mega Lucario EX full art, doing fairly well. Lost about 18 percentage points opening week. Now over the last 2 weeks, it's lost an additional 10.5%, so it's currently sitting at $26.53. The Marshadow, which was pumped like crazy that opening week, went from $34.76 up to $83.43, so that was 140% growth in the first week. It's lost 55% of its value. Now, I know it's got a really cool different viewpoint with that rare from Cosmic Eclipse. That's the kind of the reason that it was bought up so much, but again, with the illustration rares being much easier to pull, it hasn't been able to sustain that buyout. So it's down to $37.60 and continuing to fall, down about 55%. The Wally's Compassion has gone up about 6%, but it started out relatively inexpensive. It was $34.74 right away on opening day, dropped about 22 percentage points down to $27.02 opening week, and now it's gained about 6% back. So it's sitting at $28.72. Not bad for a special illustration rare. The full art Mega Gardevoir started out at $27.19, lost about 43% of its value. Turned out to be not as competitive as I think a lot of people were hoping it was. That obviously could change when rotation hits, but it's down an additional 17.5% right now, so it's down to $12.71, which isn't bad for a full art Mega. The Vulpix illustration rare, really cool card, loved by a lot of people, did go up opening week, started out at $22.83, gained about 36.75%, up to $31.22, but it's lost all of that over the last couple weeks. Again, an easier card to pull, dropped about 25.5%, so it's sitting at $23.27, so basically flat from where it started on opening day. The Mega Absol is the one that's gained probably the most, and that's because of how well it did in Milwaukee from a competitive point of view. Did extremely well, teamed up with that Mega Kangaskhan, started out at $21.86, lost about 61% of its value right away, down to $8.46. Now it's gained about 78% of that back, so it's at $15.04, still lower than where it was on opening day, but the reason behind its big growth is because of how well it did in Milwaukee, so giant leap forward on that one. The Mega Venusaur has done very well, $20.74 is where it started, lost about gained about 17.5%. Now it's stayed flat over the last couple weeks, sitting at $24.27. The Night Stretcher full art. This is our first full art item. Lost about 48% opening week. These are relatively inexpensive. These full art items here, which are super cool. Now it's lost an additional 19.5% on top of that. So $8.67 for a full art blinged out version of Night Stretcher. When the uncommon variant, is $3. So not bad there. The Mega Kangaskhan full art lost about 62%. Kind of of like what we saw with the Mega Absol. It's gained about 49% of that back, so it's sitting at $11.20. But again, that's because of how well it did at the Milwaukee Regional event. So that's why we're seeing big growth spurts from Mega Kangaskhan and Mega Absol. The Steelix illustration rare has lost about 53% over the past week or 2 weeks. Started out at $16.18, jumped up 69% to $27.41 in that first week. Now it's lost about 52.5% down to $12.97. Again, another illustration rare, which is just easier to pull. The Shuckle has been relatively flat now for the last 3 weeks. It started out at 13.33, lost about 25%. It's gained that 25% back, so it's sitting at $12.44. Inteleon started out at $12.90, lost a ton, 54.26%, and now it's lost an additional 32.5% on top of that. So you're looking at $3.98 for that illustration rare, which is pretty cool. The Mega Latias EX gained about 20% opening week, but now it's lost about 17%, so it's really flat over its first 3 weeks of a release, sitting at $12.46. Lieutenant Surge's Bargain has basically just lost everything. It started out at $12.50, dropped about 71%. Now it's dropped 44.5% on top of that. Basically a bulk full art right now, sitting at $2 and a penny. The Houndstone illustration rare lost 51% opening week. Now it's dropped an additional 28.5% over the last couple weeks. Now it's sitting at $4.29. So another cheap illustration rare that you could add to your collection. The Executor illustration rare started at $12.28, lost about 27%. Now it's lost an additional 23% on top of that. That one's sitting at $6.89. The Mega Mawile EX full art is sitting at $4.49. That's down about 31% over the past couple weeks. Mega Manectric down to $4.42. This full art has lost about 34% over the past couple weeks. So we're seeing some really big drops now over some of these other cards. The Stuffle dropped about 36% opening week. Now over the past couple weeks, it's dropped an additional 32%. So that's down to $8.06. Premium Power Pro has been hit hard. That one's down to $4.50 after dropping almost 45% over the past couple weeks. So another full art item card that's below $5. The Delibird illustration rare Delibird is down 35.81% over the past couple weeks. So that one's sitting at $3.37. Another illustration rare below $4. Litleo is below $5. That one's dropped 8.22% over the past couple weeks. So that's exciting. It's at $4.58. Then you've got a couple full art items here with Buddy Buddy Poffin, which is down 17%. A very playable card that started out at $9.96, dropped to $9.06 opening week. Now it's down to $7.49. Air Balloon, another playable card, down 26% over the past couple weeks, down to $5.47. Mega Abomasnow, the full art, is below $4. That one's sitting at $3.87 after suffering a 23% drop over the past couple weeks. Acerola's Mischief, this is just the full art, relatively flat, so it's lost about 5 percentage points over the past couple weeks. Not overly playable, but it is a cool looking card. The artwork, the background, very Halloween-y, down to $4.17 currently. The Mega Camerupt is down 13.23%. That full art is currently sitting at $3.41. The full art Rare Candy, another playable card, especially if you're running like Gardevoir or Grimmsnarl or something like that, down about 26% over the past couple weeks, sitting at $5.35. Fighting Gong, another full art item card from $8.04. Now it's sitting at $5.39. So it's lost about 42% over the past couple weeks. Spiritomb is below $5. Another illustration rare that's relatively inexpensive, down about 14.5% over the past couple weeks, sitting at $4.38. The Gumshoes has been wrecked now. It jumped up 379% opening week, up to $32.41 after all those buyouts. Now it's lost over 70%. It's below $10, currently sitting at $9.60. Mystery Garden, the full art stadium card there, $6.30 is where it started. Relatively flat opening week, but now it's lost about 36%, so it's sitting at $4.16. The Spearow started out at $5.96. It's lost 40% over the past couple weeks. It's down to $4.16. Lots of item cards, lots of illustration cards. Illustration rares below $5. The Ninjask, a little bit above $5, but it has lost about 11.5% over the past couple weeks. It's relatively flat for where it started. So it's sitting at $5.82 right now. Wally's Compassion, basically a bulk full art right now. It's dropped down to $2.22 after suffering a 36% drop over the past couple weeks. Mega Signal, the full art item card, has dropped 39% over the past couple weeks, so that's down to $2.34. Ninja is down to $5.43. That one lost about 7.5%. Mega Lucario, which was thought to be the most played card out of the set, has dropped down to a bulk EX card, a bulk mega card sitting at $1.97. That one's down about 54.61%. Obviously didn't do very well at the Milwaukee Regionals. Garganical is down below $2. This is $1.55 for this illustration rare after suffering almost a 36% drop over the past couple weeks. And then the last three that we're going to look at is Snover, which is down to $3.21. That one's dropped about 4.5%. The Helioptile's dropped about 22%, so that one's $4.43. And the Shroodle, which I love this card, it's so cool. It's down to $2.93. It's dropped about 22%. A lot of these cards, like this is very exciting for people who are just buying singles. A lot of these illustration rares, a lot of these full art item cards, a lot of these full art, ultra rare Pokemon down 30, 20, 30, 40% over the past couple weeks in their single digits, which is a sign of moving in the right direction as far as collecting the actual cards go. So if you're somebody who's maybe not opening up that much packs right now, but looking to start buying, singles to fill out your master set for Mega Evolution, or maybe you just like some of the artwork and you want to collect those cards, now's the time to start looking at them because they're dropping really hard, and I think they will continue to drop over the next couple weeks, especially as more product comes out. And then as people start transitioning to Phantasmal Flames, people are paying more attention to Phantasmal Flames than they are to Mega Evolution. Maybe we'll even see the sealed product drop a little bit more, which is very, very exciting. So hopefully a good sign of things to come. I hope you guys enjoyed the content. If you did, please hit that subscribe button down below, leave a like, leave a comment, do all the things. It goes a really long way for the algorithm, but ultimately, thank you just for being here. I love you guys. Thank you so much for all your support. I'll talk to you again in a couple days. Until next time, peace.